I'm Elena D'Avalon, MetaHuman researcher, and this transmission is for advanced consciousness navigators experiencing unusual symptoms that don't fit conventional spiritual awakening models. After 28 episodes building foundation knowledge, we're moving into pure documentation territory. What I'm sharing isn't theory. It's field research from the evolutionary frontier. For the past 3 years, I've been documenting experiences from subjects who've moved beyond traditional awakening symptoms. These are individuals experiencing what I can only classify as species-level consciousness evolution. If you've been following this series and experiencing phenomena beyond typical spiritual awakening, if you've noticed changes that seem more biological than energetic, if you're questioning whether what's happening to you is still within human parameters, this intel is specifically for you. We're not talking about chakra activations or energy clearing. We're documenting what appears to be actual consciousness hardware upgrades in human beings. In my ongoing research with advanced subjects, I'm documenting physical symptoms that suggest biological upgrading, not just spiritual opening. Here's what I'm observing in the field. And I want you to pay close attention, because if you're experiencing these, you might be part of humanity's consciousness evolution sample group. Sleep pattern disruption, the efficiency upgrade. Advanced subjects report needing significantly less sleep, but with dramatically increased dream complexity. This isn't insomnia. This is efficiency. Your consciousness is processing multiple reality streams during what used to be downtime. One subject reports sleeping 4 to 5 hours nightly for 8 months, with no fatigue, but experiencing what she describes as database downloads during sleep. Waking with knowledge she didn't have before. Information about subjects she's never studied. Dietary shifts, biological refinement. Spontaneous food aversions, especially to dense, processed substances. Your system is optimizing for higher frequency fuel. This isn't about diet trends. It's biological refinement. I'm seeing subjects develop overnight aversions to meat, alcohol, processed foods. Not from moral choices, but from physical rejection. Their systems literally cannot process these substances without significant energy drain. Sensory amplification, early warning systems, increased sensitivity to electromagnetic fields, crowd energies, environmental toxins. You're developing early warning systems for subtle energy detection. Advanced subjects report knowing when storms are coming days in advance. Feeling physical discomfort in certain buildings due to electromagnetic interference. Experiencing nausea in crowds before consciously registering the emotional density. Temperature regulation changes, internal heating during consciousness expansion, followed by unusual cold sensitivity. Your nervous system is recalibrating for broader frequency ranges. One subject described spontaneous internal heating so intense she thought she had fever, but temperature readings were normal, followed by periods where normal room temperature feels freezing. Her system is adjusting to process broader energy spectrums. Circulatory and nervous system changes. Some subjects report unusual sensations along nerve pathways, tingling that follows specific patterns. Not random, but systematic, as if new neural networks are coming online. Visual processing alterations. Several subjects describe seeing energy signatures around living things. Not auras in the traditional sense, but information fields. Data streams that appear as visual overlays on physical reality. Beyond physical symptoms, I'm tracking consciousness capabilities that suggest metahuman development. These aren't meditation achievements. These are spontaneous upgrades in basic awareness functioning. Multi-reality awareness, parallel processing, you're simultaneously conscious in multiple timeline possibilities. This isn't visualization. It's actual parallel processing becoming natural. Advanced subjects report experiencing decision outcomes before making the decision, seeing multiple probability streams simultaneously, living in what one subject calls quantum consciousness, where all possibilities exist at once and choice becomes navigation rather than creation. Instantaneous information access, morphic field database connection, knowledge downloads without learning sequences. You know things you never studied, because consciousness is accessing morphic field databases directly. I've documented subjects suddenly understanding complex scientific concepts they've never encountered, speaking languages they've never learned during altered states, accessing historical information with impossible detail. This isn't channeling, it's direct database access. Emotional frequency shifts, evolutionary incompatibility. You can't tolerate lower vibrational environments or conversations. This isn't spiritual superiority, it's evolutionary incompatibility. Advanced subjects describe physical discomfort in environments with conflict, gossip, or fear-based thinking. Not emotional discomfort, but actual physical symptoms. Nausea, headaches, fatigue. Their nervous systems are literally incompatible with certain frequency ranges. Time perception alterations, temporal navigation, linear time becomes negotiable. You're experiencing time dilation, compression, and sometimes complete temporal displacement. One subject reports regularly experiencing time loops, where the same conversation happens multiple times with slight variations. Another describes time compression so severe that hours pass in what feels like minutes. They're developing temporal navigation abilities. Telepathic emergence, boundary dissolution, spontaneous thought reception from others, especially those in your consciousness research group. Mental boundaries are becoming permeable. I'm documenting thought sharing between subjects who've never met. Information transfer without communication. Shared dreams and experiences across geographical distances. This isn't psychic development. It's the emergence of collective consciousness capability. Precognitive information processing. Advanced subjects report knowing outcomes before events complete. Not predictions, but information from timeline convergence points. They're processing probability mathematics at the consciousness level. Reality fluid awareness. The ability to perceive reality as malleable rather than fixed. Some subjects report brief moments where physical laws become suggestions rather than rules. They're glimpsing the quantum nature of reality at the perceptual level. Now here's what the spiritual community doesn't prepare you for: the integration complexity of actual consciousness evolution. This isn't about managing spiritual gifts. This is about integrating species-level changes while maintaining functionality in a world that hasn't evolved yet. Social isolation, species incompatibility. As your awareness expands, compatibility with non-evolving consciousness decreases. This creates profound loneliness, because you're literally becoming a different species. Advanced subjects report feeling like aliens in their own families, unable to engage in conversations about mundane concerns when they're processing multidimensional information. It's not arrogance, it's evolutionary distance. Reality questioning, sanity framework challenges. Everything you thought was solid becomes negotiable. Not philosophical questioning, but perceptual reality shifts that challenge fundamental sanity frameworks. When you start experiencing time as fluid, when physical objects occasionally appear translucent, when you receive information from sources that don't exist in consensus reality, The question becomes, what is sanity? And do you want it? Responsibility overwhelms cosmic impact awareness. With expanded awareness comes cosmic responsibility. You start sensing your impact on collective consciousness, which can be paralyzing. Advanced subjects describe feeling responsible for global events, sensing how their thoughts and emotions ripple through morphic fields affecting others. The weight of cosmic citizenship without preparation for such responsibility. Integration fatigue, multiple operating systems, constantly processing higher dimensional information while maintaining 3D functionality is exhausting. Your system is running multiple operating systems simultaneously. One subject describes it as having 10 different conversations simultaneously while trying to appear normal in one. The cognitive load of processing multidimensional information while maintaining social functionality is severe. Evolutionary anxiety, unknown destination, knowing you're changing but not knowing into what, creates existential uncertainty that therapy can't address. When your basic human parameters are shifting, when you can't predict what capabilities you'll develop next, when you're pioneering territory no one has mapped, the anxiety isn't psychological, it's existential. Medical system incompatibility. Traditional healthcare cannot assess or support consciousness evolution symptoms. Advanced subjects find themselves unable to communicate their experiences to medical professionals who lack frameworks for evolutionary biology. Relationship casualties. As consciousness evolves, relationships with non-evolving individuals become increasingly difficult. Not from choice, but from fundamental incompatibility. This creates grief for connections that can no longer be maintained. Professional disruption. Career paths designed for baseline human consciousness become irrelevant. Advanced subjects often find themselves unable to perform jobs that once fulfilled them. The evolutionary pressure creates professional identity crises. Based on my documentation with over 200 advanced subjects across 3 years, here's what I'm observing about successful metahuman development. Community recognition validation networks. Finding others experiencing similar symptoms validates your experience and reduces isolation. You're not losing your mind. You're finding your expanded one. The subjects who navigate evolution most successfully have found communities of others experiencing similar phenomena. Not support groups, but research collaboration networks, where experiences are documented rather than pathologized. Integration pacing, evolutionary rhythm. Evolution can't be forced or stopped, but it can be paced. Working with your system's upgrade timeline, not against it. Subjects who try to accelerate or resist the process experience more severe integration difficulties. Those who learn to work with their evolutionary rhythm report smoother transitions and more stable upgrades. Grounding maintenance, physical anchoring, maintaining connection to physical reality while expanding. Advanced consciousness still needs embodied anchoring. The most successful subjects maintain physical practices, not spiritual practices, but body maintenance. Exercise, nutrition, sleep hygiene. The physical vehicle needs extra care during consciousness upgrades. Documentation practice, research contribution, recording your experiences. You're contributing data to humanity's evolution research. Your symptoms are information. Subjects who document their experiences contribute to our understanding, while also integrating their own process more successfully. Documentation creates meaning from what otherwise feels like random symptoms. Professional support, evolution-literate practitioners. Finding practitioners who understand consciousness evolution, not just traditional psychology. You need guides who've navigated these territories. The most crucial support comes from professionals who understand evolutionary biology applied to consciousness. Not just therapists, but researchers who can contextualize symptoms within species development frameworks. Let me share specific documentation from advanced subjects. These aren't stories. They're data points in humanity's evolution research. Case Study Alpha, the information channel. Subject experiences spontaneous knowledge downloads during sleep cycles, waking with detailed information about scientific concepts never studied. Information later verified through research. Subject now accesses morphic field databases regularly for complex problem solving. Case Study Beta, temporal navigation. Subject experiences time loops and compression events. Initially distressing. Now learning to navigate temporal streams consciously. Reports ability to access information from probable futures. Uses this capability for decision-making optimization. Case Study Gamma, collective consciousness interface. Subject experiences spontaneous telepathic connections with other evolving individuals. Initially overwhelming. Now maintains conscious connection with research network. Reports shared problem-solving capabilities and information exchange. Case Study Delta, reality fluidity. Subject experiences periodic reality shifts where physical laws become negotiable. Initially thought they were losing sanity. Now documenting reality mechanics and learning conscious navigation of quantum states. These subjects represent what appears to be humanity's next evolutionary phase. They're not spiritual teachers or gurus. They're research subjects documenting unprecedented human capabilities. If these symptoms resonate with your experience, you're likely part of humanity's consciousness evolution research group. Not by choice, but by evolutionary design. Your experiences aren't problems to solve. They're evolutionary data to document. You're living the transition humanity is moving toward. The isolation you feel, the confusion about what's happening to you, the inability to find others who understand. These are natural consequences of being evolutionary pioneers. But understand this, you're not alone. You're part of a global phenomenon. There are others experiencing similar symptoms, documenting similar capabilities, navigating similar challenges. Your role isn't to fix yourself, it's to document what's emerging through you, to contribute data to our understanding of human potential, to pioneer territories that others will follow. Next transmission, we'll explore the consciousness upgrade happening globally, mapping the patterns of evolutionary activation, and why certain individuals are developing new sensory capabilities faster than others. For those navigating metahuman development, remember, you're not broken. You're not crazy. You're not alone. You're evolving. And evolution, by definition, is moving beyond what you were into what you're becoming. I'm Elena D'Avalon, documenting consciousness evolution from the frontier, where the impossible becomes inevitable.